beautiful titty meat you have there.
What was that thing you were saying about Bigfoot?
I had this idea of a story where it's about a taxidermist who goes on a hunt for Bigfoot, but he sucks at it. He actually sucks at everything. And when he's like the big twist, he shoots it and they think it's an orangutan with Down syndrome, so he has to find another Bigfoot to murder.
Reminds me of, I think it was Joe Rogan, or someone on his podcast who thinks that Bigfoot is real, and that Bigfoot is actually living in society as a regular guy. They, like, shaved off all his hair so that, like, he's able to pass as, like, a regular person.
I saw this picture that this German museum did. They took a Neanderthal, an actual Neanderthal, not like a real one, but like they made this model of it, and they put it in a modern day suit, and it's a really funny picture. And my grandmother walks over and says, "Who's that ugly motherfucker?"
I mean, weren't we talking about like people who have a certain percentage of Neanderthal DNA in them?
I think so. Not in the podcast.
Yeah, well, we talked about that in the writers group.
Oh yeah.
And I was thinking of first person that comes to mind is Casey Neistat. Like he looks like a caveman.
Do you know who has actually an abnormal amount of caveman DNA? Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Apparently, that's the only reason why his drug addiction hasn't killed him. Cult of Cave Bear, cult of cocaine.
Speaking about things that are bad for you, welcome to the Monkey Bar. We didn't really discuss about what we're going to talk about today, but we did come up with a few ideas at the last minute. How about we go over what you suggested, video games?
Yeah, video games, Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. I saw the zero punctuation review of the new SpiderMan game. He said that it was like I think that one of the opening lines was, is the new Spider-Man better than Spider-Man 2? Yes. No, I mean, I've never played Spider-Man 2. Yeah, it's a cardinal sin. We're not true gamers. But I like the new Spider-Man. It's good.
How far are you in?
I want to say I'm halfway through. I think I'm at 40%.
Oh yeah. I have never had so you're far enough in. You probably know who's gonna be the main villain, right?
Well, I got the part where you meet Mr. Negative. You find out who he is. I mean, I already knew because I'd seen the trailers.
Yeah, but I kind of like Martin Lee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't familiar with him in the comics.
He's brand new.
Yeah, I think 99 is when he was first introduced.
99?
Yeah, in the late 90s.
I don't remember him in the 90s. I thought he was early 2000s, or maybe even 2010s even.
Yeah, he probably didn't make a notable appearance in the comics, but yeah, apparently he is from the late 90s, and they do pretty good. From what I've seen so far, he's a pretty interesting villain. The part where they kill off, or spoiler alerts, where they, Jefferson Davis.
Yeah.
The part where it's oh, don't worry, nothing bad is going to happen. And then he looks at the camera and then zooms in, he's got this big smile.
I'm sorry.
Bad things are going to happen to me.
Did you just do really bad accent for that?
I actually lied. A bad thing is going to happen.
Do you know what I really want? I want there to be this really bad 90s dub option for video games, get a 90s anime dub for it.
Yeah, Ghost Stories, the Ghost Stories dub. I think they actually did something like that with Spider-Man 2. Is that, if you did New Game Plus, then it would have, a 60s Spider-Man tone to it, where everybody acts all goofy.
There was, for the Spider-Man on the PlayStation, which is one of my favorite games, that there's this option that's called, basically, Silly Mode.
That actually might be what I'm thinking of.
And my favorite out of context line is Black Cat turns to Spider-Man and says, "The giant banana makes me dance."
Now, post-internet age, that actually makes sense now.
God. Speaking of that, in a chat I'm in, we had a person come on there, and it was they froze one of the LOL random emo girls from the 2006, and they unfroze her. It's what's that movie, the Encino Man?
Encino Man?
Yeah, but with a 2006, Twilight fangirl.
I could actually see that happening. There was actually this video game that Vinesauce was playing. It was one of the videos from a couple years ago where it's a Legend of Zelda parody, and you find this time capsule, and it has this recorder on it, and you open it up, and it just plays Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. And I'm thinking somebody would probably do that now, is that they take a time capsule, they bury it, 1,000 years from now, after Earth has been annihilated by a nuclear war, and like people on Mars return to Earth.
And you have to make traps, and it has to be like this big dungeon crawl.
Yeah.
And the plot twist would be, ooh, this is a sweet song.
Yeah, there's no longer any context behind it.
Yeah. Oh man, do you know what song really makes me think of the 2000s? Wake me up inside.
I actually used a slowed down like vaporwave version of that. Like I didn't like I say vaporwave. I just slowed it down to like 50% speed. That was when we were talking about I don't know, the last podcast I edited. So.
Oh god.
Like it was episode 11, but like I don't know.
I love our Twilight episode because I never realized how down I sound during that one.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever finish it?
The book?
Yeah.
Fuck no. I just got as far as I needed to. I'm not sure how long that is into the book. Probably, you know.
What do you think it would have been like if they made a Twilight video game?
Oh my god. Have you ever played those really bad Harry Potter games? Like,
never played them, but I've seen gameplay of them.
Picture one of those, but like with the lowest poly count ever. And there'd be like a mission where you have to like sneak out before Dad catches you, break into the truck without slipping, avoid the cardinal vampire and his legion.
I keep thinking of it would be more like Life is Strange, but if it were made in like 2006, I want to say you'd be right. It would be more like the.
If there was a Life is Strange Twilight DLC, I'd fucking shoot the place up. I'm sorry. Okay, that was way too dark a joke. I apologize.
Do you think that is Twilight old enough to be considered retro now?
I don't want to answer that. Because if it is, that just makes me feel like...
I mean, now I think that people have been saying that like we're due for like a 2000s nostalgia boom.
Oh.
And I think that like it's funny because I think the person who suggested that got a reply saying, you know, I think like now we're gonna realize that all the things that we came up with in 2000 are like not original at all, just based on stuff from the 90s.
No, you know what's gonna be awful? Is that like, you know that Gem and the Hologram movie? Mm-hmm. Have you seen like the 80s sequences in there?
I haven't actually.
I haven't, but apparently it's like so 80s and radical, woo! That it just makes your heart hurt if you're from the 80s. I don't want to look through it, like, what do you think like a 2000s thing like that would be?
Yeah, probably, I think of My Chemical Romance, that was big in the 2000s. I still like them, don't give me that.
I do!
But yeah, Linkin Park, even Evanescence.
They'd be playing in the background.
I'm trying to think of like big cultural quote-unquote milestones.
GameCube?
Well, it's funny you mention that. This is more 90s because PlayStation just announced the PlayStation Classic. So it's gonna be like the NES Classic and stuff, but like preloaded with 20 PlayStation Classic games like Final Fantasy VII.
SpiderMan probably.
I don't know. Maybe that would be a strong contender, I think.
God. Probably Mortal Kombat 4. Do you know who I hope gets on there? Jurassic Park Warpath. I'm sorry, I don't want to mention Jurassic Park every episode, but Warpath on the PlayStation is one of my favorite games ever. Because the Acrocanthosaurus had a special move where he fucking pile drives the other dinosaur.
Yeah, I'm like, I wonder if it's even like an issue now that like because you can probably just hack those things. Because I think it's like somebody mentioned it's basically just Raspberry Pi, the programming software or hardware. I'm not sure what it is, but it's like you can just
It's almost an emulator.
Yeah, you can just emulate anything through it with like an external disk drive or something.
I really want a good computer so I could have an emulator on there.
Oh, you can even run an emulator with a shitty computer, I think.
Well, I mean, like the free. Well, I have a shitty computer. I've been trying to get PlayStation and Dreamcast emulation.
Oh well, yeah. For the 3D stuff, I think you need like a mid-tier PC.
Yeah, my computer ain't mid-tier. Like mid-tier looks down. Have you seen the movie Les Mis?
No, I haven't.
There's a song called Look Down, Don't Look Him in the Eye. My computer's singing that while the mid-tier computers are laughing.
The only one I remember is And I'm Jabbar.
God, I love that. I don't like the movie, but I love how they keep interrupting each other. It's like one of our conversations.
Speaking of old games, Nintendo just released their online service.
Is it like Game Pass?
Well, it's like you can stream games. I don't know if you can download old NES games, because I've heard that there's lag to the NES games if you're online. And
You stream the games?
I want to say that, yeah, I'm not entirely too familiar with with how the service works, so don't quote me on anything I'm going to say. It just recently came out, like yesterday, I think. And there's already complaints of like lag, input lag, and there's like the CRT filter that they use for the games. It actually like messes up your TV. It burns images. It's only temporary though, from what I understand. But like it's really unpolished, and it's really bad. It's not worth the price at all.
How much is it?
I think it's cheaper than PS Plus. It's like $7 a month.
Okay, that's a decent price, but not for that fucking software.
Yeah, and like there's no video streaming, none of the extra features that PS Plus or Xbox Live have.
I'm sorry, when you said like what you're picturing, and how much backlash has it got, you think?
Well, it seems like 50-50, because you got people who legitimately don't like it. And then there's the Nintendo fanboys who are throwing a big stink, being like, well, when Nintendo does it, it's fine.
I'm sorry, man, but like, do you know what I hear? I keep doing Reggie jokes, but I'm just picturing like Reggie finds out about the backlash and he goes to Japan, and you see like the ocean front, and you see Reggie come out there like Godzilla.
Reggie!
They're all running for their lives. Like you see Miyamoto and a giant robot. It would have been like Pacific Rim, but the other guy's dead.
I was thinking it would be like Frankenstein versus Mechagodzilla.
I want to see Frankenstein fight Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. He fought King Kong, didn't he?
Yeah, they used Frankenstein as a discount King Kong. Hey, one fun thing, by the way. I don't want to talk about Godzilla too much for this episode. They're doing this new ad. You know, they do those like interactive, you know. Like, I'm not sure what the term is, but, like, you can enter the real website of Jurassic World. Mm-hmm. It's for the new Godzilla thing, and they have these ones for monsters, and I know you're not huge on kaiju, but it's got some fucking fantastic world building. Because, like, apparently Rodan's a flying volcano. Mothra shoots out radiation to the point it annihilates cities. And King Ghidorah apparently can create hurricanes just by flapping his wings. And not only that, just by existing, he causes lightning strikes. And I'm just...
See, whenever I hear about that stuff, I always think, like, how is it that all the humans in these movies aren't already dead?
Well, I mean, the monsters are hibernating.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, because it looks like in the new Godzilla, they're all going to be unleashed at the same time, and it's like,
yeah,
you know, why even bother with the humans anymore?
To be honest, they should have, like, a couple humans, like, have, like, Team Godzilla. Like, what they should do is, like, have a Dr. Sarazawa show up about, hey, Godzilla, on the wasp. And just, you have him, like, on the boat. I don't know. But what's really cool is that they have all these sites that are, it's probably going to be future monsters. But apparently one of these lines up to the part of Germany they said Frankenstein lives in. Another one is Area 52. So we're setting up sequels, of course, but it's kind of fucking awesome.
Yeah. And then when the Frankenstein shows up, it's like a prequel to the Dark Universe.
No.
Try that again.
Oh no, the Dark Universe, that's its final stand. Yeah. And what they do is they have the fans vote on who wins. Do you know how much... Oh man. I heard about, like, they're talking about this. The guy directing Godzilla vs. King Kong hates Godzilla vs. King Kong. He also said one of the monsters is definitely dying. And I think that's either a really good choice or a really fucking bad one. Because you know there's going to be backlash. Anyways, you don't even remember most about Nintendo. I'm sorry if this is a really sharp topic. Nintendo had a really good polish. They always have some of the best polished games.
Yeah, mostly from their first party, obviously. Yeah. But, yeah, you're right, because, Resident Evil 4, that was a third party, and it was, like, one of the best from the GameCube, yeah.
I love Resident Evil 4. I mean, it really fucked the franchise.
Yeah, well, the sequels that came after that kind of, like, tried to ape it and be like...
Yeah, I apologize. I really do like Resident Evil 5. It should have just been an anime. I would have watched that as an anime.
Have you ever seen any of the CGI movies?
Yes, I like them.
All of them?
I'm not sure if there's a new one that came. It was a new one out there recently.
Yeah, there was one. Like the most recent one is the most ridiculous.
Is that the one? The last one I saw had like a girl fight between Ada Wong and his prime minister.
Well, like the one I heard about, the one that was most recent, it has a scene that goes on for 5 minutes with the main characters sitting in a helicopter talking about Breaking Bad.
No, that's not it. But the last one I saw, they had this cool sequence. They released a tyrant. And I think I don't remember exactly, and this is me going off memory. And Leon S. Kennedy has Jurassic World Fallen Game were bitching about that laser pointer that controls the dinosaur? They had a laser pointer that controlled a pack of liquors. And they had Liquor versus Tyrant. You know what I'd kill for it? Like a Resident Evil game where you play as an Umbrella Corp, but you get your own bioweapons. And you have to like XCOM, but with Resident Evil. And you could like train up your Tyrant, get new mutations. Yep.
Yeah, the one thing I want to see more is sentient zombies. Like, specifically, like, the ones from World of Warcraft, Forsaken.
Have you, it was on Newgrounds. Ever heard of Zombie with an X?
No, I haven't.
Basically, it's about a zombie who finds a little girl and he promises to take her back to her settlement. Because in this universe, once in a billion, you get a sentient zombie. He has a dog named Cerberus who only has one head. He also meets a hot mummy girl with a pet velociraptor. And they fought aliens. It was wild. But they had this one thing at the ending got me so pissed off. Because they show a zombie cowboy flick a cigarette, and it's like the coolest thing ever. I think cowboys and zombies work well.
Yeah.
What I would do, I had this idea years ago as a kid. It'd be a game where you play as a cowboy who is killed for a horrible crime. Devil makes a deal with you. It would be one of those time games like Majora's Mask. You have only so many hours before sunrise. In those hours, you have to kill all these wicked demons and all these wicked outlaws. Each one has a different demonic ability. If you kill them, you can, like, when you restart the night, it's like an endless loop until you find out the secret thing.
Yeah, the comic I'm reading right now, like, I've been reading Scud, the Disposable Assassin, and I just got to a part where they have zombies in there, but they also have zombie dinosaurs. So like the first, like when they attack this mafia building, then like the first thing you see is like this mafia guy gets squished by a giant zombie Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it's like, and all the zombies are controlled by Benjamin Franklin.
Okay, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's really.
I hope he gets like a zombie octopus body. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a really good comic. It's really goofy, but it's also really fun. And
do you think it'd be a good movie?
As an animated movie, yeah, I would love to see it.
I remember this idea I had recently. What it was is it's like a mobster thing, but there was a sort of nuclear apocalypse, and they're all mutants. But the joke of it is, whatever their gangster name was in life, it affects it. Oh, they call him Putsney, so he's got these tumors full of acid. They call him the dog, so he's mutated to look like he has a dog body. They call her Legs, and she's this horrifying amalgamation of only legs. And I came up with the best name I ever came up with. The villain is named Joaquin Dead. By the way, speaking of names of Joaquin, you know that Joker movie released how they make the Joker look? For the movie, he won't have the traditional green spade and green hair, unfortunately. It'll start with him before he goes completely nuts.
Like they could make that work. I mean, I like The Killing Joke.
What I would kind of do, was The Killing Joke the one to give him a definite origin?
That's not really his. I don't see it as his definite origin. I would see it as a origin.
Because I like it when the Joker doesn't even know.
Yeah. I like the idea of him having like several different ideas of like where he came from. Yeah. So like I don't think that any like fans really accept The Killing Joke as the definitive like origin of the Joker. What
I would do though is that I would do like every DCEU film have a different guy as the Joker. And they play up different aspects, so it shows his craziness or how.
I mean, I would love to see it if like DC just like stopped trying the shared universe thing altogether. Yeah. If they just like came out with, because I like the Shazam movie. I like how that looks, and I wish that they would just have each movie just have like its own world, just give the director full creative reign over what to do with the character, and just like not try to connect it to like Justice League or anything.
If they do connect it, there needs to be. I really hope that they're really just making everyone think there's not going to be Martian Manhunter, so he gets the best reveal in the series. like have like they're doing the thing and they're fighting Darkseid. He stabs Alfred, and Alfred turns green. It's the Martian Manhunter in disguise or some shit like that.
Something like that happened in the Captain Marvel trailer, I think.
Oh yeah,
the part where she punches the old lady in the face.
Oh, I want to talk about that. I have never seen a Marvel trailer.
Yeah, I have no interest in seeing the trailer, but
I saw it.
What do you think? I mean,
it opens with her falling like this Christ-like figure into a blockbuster.
Yeah, the first thing I saw was the blockbuster. Like, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, because it's in the 90s, and they also have a young Samuel Jackson. They should really just make a next year movie that's rated R so he can actually be Samuel Jackson. Because I want a scene where it's like he's sitting at his desk, he doesn't even have a desk. He just peers over somebody else's desk. Sir, the Hulk has been sighted in South America. He's doing this, and Captain America's doing that, and we found Ultron doing the electric boogaloo or some shit like that. And you go, motherfucker, can't I get a goddamn break?
I mean, it worked for Logan.
God, yeah. Speaking of Logan, have I heard a lot of backlash is coming out of the film all of a sudden.
About Logan?
Yeah, like, at least on Marvel servers, I'm in like 6 of them. Fuck. And it's like, shit like we're saying, it was too gritty, it was too dark.
I mean, I can kind of see that argument, but it's
a great send-off.
Yeah, to me, it's still a great film. And it has some really good world building. That kind of surprised me.
Yeah. And it makes me hurt my soul when I watch it. Because I love the characters, and it's like, watch Professor Xavier dip into the darkness of Alzheimer's.
I can see why they would be upset, like the part where they show the X-Men comic and Logan being like, oh, those are just all exaggerated, it's all comic book crap. And like, to me, that's kind of like a fuck you to the obsessive fanboys that are in fact ranting about it.
I do like that. You know what I really want to have happen? I heard like shit like that Hugh Jackman has said, I will play Wolverine if studios ask. Here's how I would have it integrate the X-Men. You have like in the, whatever films that tie them in, you have that hero walk into this old abandoned estate. And this is, where we have all these mutants and people with weird genes. They go, who's the professor? Fuck you, and Wolverine walks over. I would kill to see a storyline where Wolverine has to become the professor, and it'd be the worst thing for him. Because he can't just claw a student in half. He can't just, throw them off a building and wait for them to regenerate. That'd be an interesting plotline.
Yeah, reminds me of New Mutants. Like, that's still, I don't know if it's in development hell right now, but I heard it was put on hold until like next year, and I really hope that it's good. I really hope that, because it looked like, the first time I saw the trailer, I was kind of off-put. It's like, it's an X-Men horror film, and I don't know if the reason they put it on hold is to make it more like a Marvel movie, which is kind of upsetting to me. Yeah, it's, I hope that it's good. I hope that it manages to still retain that horror aspect. Well, I don't know.
What if they're putting on hold to make it even more horrifying?
That would be interesting. But yeah, I just want to see something different done with superheroes. Not just in movies, but in comics. It seems like they've just been stagnating for a while.
I had this idea for a story where there's this problem, this villain he can jump, he's like the most horrible villain ever. And it turns out that when he was killed, it manifested a new ability, that he can psychically possess people. And he jumped from hero to hero to hero. And the problem is that it would be like, it's probably not the most original idea, but he's not just like defeating them, like he's having like Captain Canada crucify the Crimson Warlock and shit like that, and just slice and dice these characters.
Hey, you keep mentioning whenever you come up with supervillain or superhero ideas, they always have horrible powers, like really useless powers. That's why I think you'd like the Venture Brothers. It touches on that a lot.
I know. Holy shit, Skunk Rock could exist in that universe.
Oh, he absolutely could, yeah.
Do you know what I would see happen? I forget the guy's name. Brock Sampson's the blonde guy. Brock walks in the room, and you see Skunk Rock opening the window, climbing out.
I mean, they have a Spider-Man, a version of Spider-Man called the Brown Widow, and he shoots webbing out of a hole up like above his anus.
Like
An actual spider.
I know, I like that. Oh man, if you want to be technical, there is a species of spider called the ogre face that they actually have their webbing in their hands because they create a net as they lower on the prey. So they have 3 web anuses. Also, I made a joke once that the Sam Raimi SpiderMan has additional anuses on his wrists. And one of my friends said that you've actually ruined the Sam Raimi film for me now.
I remember I liked the idea of organic webbing better than the web shooters. I used to, but now I'm more keen on the web shooters.
I like the web shooters unless they can make the organic webbing part of it more.
Yeah, like it's sort of like the organic stuff is like it sort of like feeds into it, like sort of like an IV.
Yeah, like when picturing goes like, you know, hey, like Anime go, oh, hey Pete, I have a question. Why do you have like 8 protein shakes in the refrigerator?
Yeah. Like that's one of the problems with organic webbing.
Yeah, he'd have to. That'd be interesting. Like if you had a character, it's a fucking fan character for My Hero Academia. His quirk is that he can create an armored form around him. So it's basically he can build an organic Iron Man sort of suit, except it can't fly. It's like a chrysalis. The problem is, to 3 things, he can only eat foods that are extremely rich in protein. So he has to special order all his meals. And the worst part is that the suit builds heat. It can constantly release steam, but that is nothing for how he feels. So he'll come out there drenched in sweat, panting like a dog. And what makes it even more horrifying, or the other character I had, their quirk is that they have insects inside their body. That it can shapeshift the insect. I want a centipede, or I want this. To get new bugs, he has to eat them. The worst thing, though, is if he spits them out, they're crawling through his throat. And I made a joke that they don't just come out his mouth if he can't use it. He hates his quirk. Because he really don't see a lot of superheroes who have really detrimental quirk or like abilities.
In X-Men, yeah. In some of the comics, there are like mutants who like have powers that affect their social lives, or because there's one named Decay who gets the short end of the stick. He's kind of like the guy with the hand on his face from My Hero Academia. He like anything he touches like withers and dies. So like it's kind of like Rogue, but even worse.
Can he wear a glove?
Yeah, I think so.
It can't be organic though, like leather.
Right. So like there are plenty of X-Men mutants who like get like bad mutations.
I have to complain about something that a lot of people don't understand is the X-Men aren't happy superheroes. If you're a mutant, you're living the hard mode. Yeah. Like, Canada is basically like World War II Germany for mutants, if you think about it. Like, they have Weapon X, they have Wonderland. Oh, yeah. I hate to be a Canadian mutant. That'd be a good Marvel story. A bunch of Canadian mutants running for the border.
Yeah, like, I think that's, Alpha Flight. That's the first thing I think of. It's not like, they're more just like the Canadian version of X-Men.
Yeah, but, like, do you know how scary it must be being Alpha Flight? I bet you what, they don't put their base on Google Maps. They just look outside and you see all these Weapon X people walking around. Do you know what would be terrifying if they did like the Weapon X procedure to like the Hulk? Or no, worse, it's like somehow they're able to capture Thanos and they Weapon X-ified him. You actually hit me in the head. And he pulls the axe out. Too bad for you. Also, apparently, I'm on a Marvel forum that does basically it's a simplified D&D style game with a Marvel character, Skunkworks Center. And something that people don't realize about Marvel is there's no really happy superhero. Okay, Squirrel Girl aside, and maybe Kamala Khan.
Deadpool and maybe Ambush Bug.
Well, no, Deadpool's not happy.
I mean, it depends on how you look at it, I guess. Whether insanity qualifies as happy or not.
Oh man, if that's the case, the Joker must be having a great life.
If you're gonna put it that way, then I don't think that there's like anybody in existence who is technically happy. Okay, yeah.
But like, by the way, speaking of the Joker, the Arkham games did him right, I think.
Yeah, Like, aside from the giant Joker monster at the end of Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, okay, that sucked, but like, I really like...
I still can't believe that they did that.
It's a repressed memory.
Yeah.
Especially because they gave him that awful mohawk.
Yeah, well, I think specifically of, like, the spikes that come out of his spine, like the giant fingernails.
He looked like the Abomination. The Abomination mixed with Meg from that Family Guy episode. By the way, I've been watching Family Guy episodes, like the really bad ones, because I couldn't believe how bad they are until I started rewatching them. You know, the Meg jokes kind of get under your skin after a while.
Yeah.
Man. I'm sorry, you know one of my favorite games as a kid was Luigis Mansion.
Yeah, I keep hearing that, because I know that they re-released Luigi's Mansion on the DS, but that version, like, people say, is not as good as the GameCube version.
What I don't like is that they took away the fact that ghosts were characters. Because you could scan them with the Game Boy Horror. It'd be like, his name was Thomas. He slit his throat. His name was Imelda. She fell down the stairs. His name was Chauncey. He was never born. And I really like and there's actually a scrapped ghost. What the ghost ability was when they would hit you is that you'd have to catch Luigi's head because he decapitates you. Because he's the big game hunter. And there's even, have you ever heard of the telephone Easter egg?
No.
If you use the phone and lightning flashes, the silhouette is Luigi hanging himself. Because the hand looks like he's holding a rope. And it's like, holy shit. Nintendo got away with so much in that game.
I miss video game rumors.
No, it wasn't a rumor.
I mean, yeah, but it made me think of, like, GTA San Andreas, like, people saying, oh, Bigfoot's out there. But now it's like you can just hack the game code and, like,
put him in there.
Yeah, or just find out if he's in there or not. And it's like, that ruins the mystery, I think. But it's sort of a consequence of, like, living in the internet age.
You know what I would do if I made a game and I put, like, an Easter egg? I would give it, like, a really deceptive file name. Like, if I did, like Dan Theft Auto, and, I did the Bigfoot rumor, Bigfoot be labeled, like, Old Lady 167 or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I also miss? It sort of happened and died out. Games, if you pirated, the developers released a pirated version that was found fail. Like Freddy's did that. Friday Nights at Freddy's, you'd be jump scared automatically. Or like Game Dev Tycoon did, where you slowly run out of money.
Hey, speaking of Mario, there's like the trailer for the new Mario Brothers Wii for the port for the Switch.
Yeah.
And how like Peach is one of the characters, but like it's actually Toadette who you get to when she gets a super mushroom, she turns into Peachette. So it's like not actually Peach, and like people are just like speculating lore and like being like
she could be like a hyper evolved Toad.
Yeah, like do Toads evolve into the race that Peach is from or something like that?
Think about this. You never see her lower body and she has that big bump. Maybe the cap splits off into a human.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's body horror shit.
Well, no, wait, no. Like, she's been in a bikini before, so.
I just have a mental image. God, I had us both going. But, like, where, like Peach takes off her, like, dress and you see Mario, oh, that fucking shit. And he runs out there, Luigi, run. Daisy's one of them, too. I really want to see like a Mario Odyssey game, but it's set during like their version of a Crusades, and you have like oh no, watch out, the Koopas are climbing the fence, and you like have like,
or boiling pasta sauce on them.
Holy shit! I really miss when Movie Bob had this big thing about like
Movie Bob, say no more, yeah.
Yeah, but like have you ever heard him talk about mechanization?
Yeah, I think so.
I want him to talk about like how Odyssey has giant war robots, because that's just giving him a hard on at this point. You know what I heard was good? The Sonic Boom cartoon.
Yeah.
I kind of want to look into it, because there's a joke that actually got me crying laughing.
I think there was like a whole episode about like making fun of Chris Chan, I think.
I hope he saw it.
Well, obviously the writers like deny that it's about Chris Chan or saying it's about Sonic fans in general. But they have they have the a short, fat aardvark guy with big glasses. Like
Did he wear a striped shirt?
I think so. Yeah.
God.
Well, it's green and white, I think,
But he would never know, because you know that. Have you ever heard how he says he can't recognize people by their faces alone? Mm-hmm. He wouldn't know it's a caricature of him unless it was explicit. Mm-hmm. God, I don't like the new Christian. You have a oh fuck go back meme. Mm-hmm. God.
I was gonna say on the subject of comics. It's a shameless plug for some friends I have. It's like they're trying to get their own comic made. It's called Literally, and there's Literally is the name of the comic, and they started an Indiegogo campaign like a month ago. It's down to its last month. They've got like about 3 or 4 weeks left. They've raised about just under $400. They're asking for $500. And it's sort of a parody comic of social justice warrior type comics. I hate saying that phrase. It's sort of become stale, but it's sort of like a Tumblr comic about this short black teenage girl who's fat and like she's a mecha pilot. And it's sort of made to poke fun at all the tropes that Tumblr comics have become infamous for.
Did I tell you? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Well, the guy doing it, running under the pen name of Randisha Diaz. So it's got all sort of covering all their bases. I really like their work. He did that werewolf porn book that I brought in that one time.
Oh. And
also Kill Everything, which is also a pretty funny comic. So it proves that he can do what I consider funny, entertaining comics. I'm considering donating more. I donated $50 already, but there's a $100 tier where you can have your own character be written into the comic, or appear in the comic, because they have parts open. But I'm thinking of from my own comic having one of the characters show up there.
God, if I had $100, I would have Smoke Show. God. By the way, I joined Tumblr. Mm-hmm. And there's a huge paleontology section of Tumblr. It's really nice. I'm on there, and I remember this person did this beautiful art, and I get this, I'm quitting Tumblr. I'm killing myself. And I'm like, oh. Guess why she's supposedly killing herself? Because a YouTuber took a picture of her synapsid and used it as evidence of why this is poorly drawn. I'm like, oh God, no. Oh no, my other favorite one is when the furries come in. Because furries are constantly looking for new animals.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm able to call myself a furry. I know that I put up, to anybody who actually cares, I put up, that art that I showed you to my Twitter. Gotten no response, but, probably for the better. But, the reason I can't really see myself as part of that community, just because, infantilism, I think, is the right word. Just the way that everything, especially the fursuits, they're all they have that feel to them where it's for kids, but it's really
not. It's a fucking creepy old man in a suit jacket.
Yeah, it has that vibe that really doesn't gel with me at all.
Yeah, no offense to furries, but there are extremely creepy furries. Mm.
But even the ones that aren't that creepy, who are part of that fandom, which we talked about last episode. Yeah. But it's just even the mild ones still have that vibe to them, that infantilism.
Yeah. Oh, man. Now.
Well, yeah, you mentioned I'm glad that the phrase "oh, what's this" has kind of become broken out into mainstream, because it shows that side of furries and all of its disgusting glory.
I had this idea of doing a Tumblr blog where it's a fake furry blog to see how much of a kick I can get out of people by using the animal Moatheria, which is an ugly pig elephant. Just see how many weirdos I could attract. Do it. It must be done. Yeah. But it wouldn't his name is Mo, alias Mo, who's not allowed to see a kid since the divorce. God. Speaking of weird fetish people, Nintendo fans.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll see some of that once in a while. Yeah.
Like you don't see it often, but they're into the hardcore weird shit.
Would you say that like joking about it makes you more inclined to like go toward it? Like if I were to like if it were like, because I've seen the arguments and some examples of people who like joke about liking traps and then they end up liking traps down the road.
I don't know. I don't know sociology. I'd say it's 50-50. Because you get those people who are like, oh no, traps is weird, haha. That's... And then you like look at like, fuck, Linkara. No offense to Linkara, but like...
He is a nasty cock slut by his own admission, so we're okay. And...
I'm sorry. Whenever I hear that picture, I see his face just like stretched out. God. Oh God, I fucking hate Linkara, to be honest. No offense to Linkara.
Yeah, that kind of contradicts yourself, isn't it?
Like, I think he has good opinions once in a while. Yeah. It's just when I see him, like, how I say about the weird Nintendo shit, so I'm in the paleontology chat, and we have, not safe for work chat, but I have to moderate. Because, you know, I'm the admin, and so it says, hey, this guy's posting, and, you know, he does, and, you know, quote-unquote, Mega Cooper cockvore, and I'm like, dear God, no. I wanted to shoot myself, even deleting it. Because, you know, it's just Nintendo fans. And the ones who sexualize these characters meant for 5 and 6 year olds, it's creepy. It's even worse than the infantilism of furries. Also, the people who end their sentences with semicolon-free constantly, no offense to them, fuck you. I don't know why I keep doing... Oh yeah, I remember why. Because I'm in this chat that's really... She's an Overwatch fan who is fucking nuts. And she flies off the handle, so I end everything with no offense, but fuck you. Yeah. God, you and else... I'm sorry if we're ranting on random people. LOL random humor deserves to die. Unless it's done really well.
Yeah.
But no one does it really well anymore.
I think if it's like self-aware, then it can work. Like if it's like, you know... I don't know. I can't think of any examples. Yeah. I think of like Filthy Frank and like how his humor was kind of random, but it was like calculated.
Yeah. Like organized chaos. But like...
like How to Basic. Like his videos are still funny.
Yeah, like the guy who does like, he rubs the thing in like the hot iron and toothpaste, pushing water and fruit away, that guy?
Or like, yeah, throws eggs at like a million eggs at something.
Yeah, that guy, I like him. But like those people are like, hey guys, yeah, you know what I mean, right? Yeah.
Like whenever I hear LOL random, it makes me think of like the YouTube videos from like 2006, like Fred and like early Smosh.
Yeah, 2006 was a fucked up year for the internet for some reason.
Yeah. No, like, one thing, like, there's some Smosh videos that I still think are funny. The last one that I watched, I was just thinking about this last night. The last Smosh video that I watched was Stuck in the Toilet.
I'll be right back. I'm grabbing the tissue to wipe my nose, I apologize.
But, yeah, like, Stuck in the Toilet was actually funny. I don't know if I mentioned it before on this podcast. I might have mentioned it to you once, but it was like a parody of 127 Hours. And it was like, because like, in the movie, it's actually based on a true story. It was the guy who was rock climbing, and he got his arm pinned under a rock. But in Stuck in the Toilet, it's like Anthony gets stuck in a porta potty, and it's like it's implied that his dick gets caught in the door or something, and he has to cut it off, but it turns out he just cuts off the part of his shirt. And it's like, it's really funny, like the whole build up to it is really funny. And it's like really well timed, but like everything from that went downhill from what I understand.
You know what I was saying about this? Oh, hey, by the way, you have a Fred channel's back up.
Yeah, and like Jake Paul owns it or something.
God. I just want to picture like the show where everyone's like obvious satires of real YouTube people, but it's done like a crime lord city, and the Jake and Logan Paul brothers coming in there, a bunch of mobsters. They've got the shotgun crooked over their arm, walking for town. By the way, trying to remember something. I remember like early YouTube was really hit or miss with comedy. The one was funny, it was kind of hysterical.
And at other times, it was Catwoman pooping in a litter box.
God, I'm not sure if it's still on YouTube. I hope YouTube burned that video.
No, they probably have, yeah.
Can you imagine if YouTube, like, they actually kept all those deleted videos in this giant archive? Like, they take it off the database, put a USB, and load it into this hard drive.
It's like they put it in, like, a crate, like, at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, yeah.
And then they put the hard drive in the...
Yeah.
It's like the SCP Foundation.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, they put it back in the corner with all the gay stuff. Like the what was it, the meteors, they're like transgender or whatever.
Oh god. Man, internet's weird. Also, have you heard the joke that memes are just inside jokes for people without friends?
Oh, that sounds about right, yeah.
That's extremely true. And I heard this and I was laughing until I started looking down going, oh no. Oh no. So think about those meme lords. I hate to use that term.
Like who?
Like people who are like, they know every meme, they can speak memes.
Yeah. Makes me think of, like, I was gonna say, like, memes are more like the Sunday funnies or like the funny comics in the newspapers. That's more like along the lines of what webcomics used to be.
You mean the Sunday iFunnies?
Yeah. But you remember old webcomics?
I remember, like, have you ever heard of Alien Loves Predator?
Yeah.
That was good.
I mentioned like that Powerpuff Girls comic that
I need to read. I want to do an episode where I just read it and I take my notes.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember there were some webcomics that were pretty good. That I actually saw. I was looking at the webcomic list, or like top webcomics currently. One of them in the top 10 was Two Kinds, which has been like a webcomic since it's been going since like 2005. And I guess the guy has been doing nothing else. Kind of like the author of the Powerpuff Girls comic. He started that in like 2003.
Is he still like? Does he have a job?
I think he does. Like he works in an office or something.
Oh no! I had this whole other image now. Like originally it was like he sleeps in a cave and all he has is this computer and he's just scratching it on stone.
I heard about that, like that he was still working at a job back in like 2009. So it's probably like he's probably either self-sustaining from his work or he is still working at that same job.
So man, you come in here quite a bit. How do you get all your money? And he sets down the $50 tip for his like Coors Light. Takes a swig and goes, Powerpuff Girls, my friend.
Say no more. I don't know.
Yeah. You must be a really pathetic life. Like, no offense to them, but the people who are cosplay are porn stars. They're not even porn stars on their own merits. Like, I have big tits and I dress up as Princess Peach. Next week I'll do Daisy. Speaking of Nintendo again, Isabelle for Smash.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know who she is really, except that she's in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, she's like the secretary to your the player character, the mayor, and like everybody seems to love her. And
all I saw is that she's supposedly sleep deprived. I saw this picture. It's Ridley, Isabelle, Snake from Metal Gear, and Cloud. And someone said that Isabelle is Cloud's persona, and that Ridley is Snake's persona.
I've seen people like starting to ship Isabelle with Snake. Like I haven't seen it explicitly, but I'm sensing the calm before the storm.
I love when you said that, because I'm like picturing like the movie like the day after tomorrow, and you're standing on the pier and you see the shitstorm of fandoms coming.
Yeah, like all the geese flying away and yeah.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. Speaking of those storms, I have a meme that I'm trying to Photoshop. You know the girl with the 5 black eyes behind her? Mm-hmm. It's that, but it's like the coast of the United States and it's 5 hurricane style images. By the way, what's kind of horrifying is that I'm on one of those servers I mentioned, it's my paleontology one, and someone posted a Shadman pic, and the person says, who's Shadman? I'm going to Google them. And slowly they've been posting more Shad porn, and I'm like, how long will it take? How long will it take?
I remember when Shad used to do comics. and they were just completely unfunny. I mean, like, he still does comedy once in a while. Like,
would you say he's gotten better?
Yeah, he's become more self-aware, which I like. There's the one where, like, speaking of the black guys meme, he did a variant of that's like completely subverted my expectations. It was really funny.
Or he did the Waluigi one.
Yeah.
And I swear to God that they referenced that in the Smash trailer when they give Isabelle the invite.
Huh.
I swear to God.
Yeah, like, I think that somebody, like, said that. And I'll have to watch that again just to be sure.
I think I was the one who said that. I'm pretty sure I said that.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, like, I think he made that comic just so it would, like, just to, like, circle it around and, like, get people, like...
Go on his site so he could show them the depravities.
Yeah, just to catch them off guard.
By the way, there's a game called Super Smash Flash that's it's the sequel I've been playing. And they have Pichu in the game, and you know how Pichu sucks in Real Smash? Mm. They made Pichu awesome, because the more damage Pichu has, the more damage he does. At one point, he can actually, if he can do a damage, his like right B, if it was using the Nintendo controller, is equal damage to Goku's Kamehameha full powered.
Yeah, I think that's what Lucario was like in Smash Brothers Brawl. Is that like the more he gets hurt, the more powerful he gets.
Oh yeah, and plus they don't have Lucario in the game, so probably that's their Easter egg. They also confirmed Waluigi for their game. You know what? If Waluigi doesn't get in, they're probably gonna do him as a DLC. Because that'd be a good way to get DLC money.
I feel like they would eventually do that.
Yeah, that's like shitty, but you have to be honest. Sometimes Nintendo has to gouge you for that extra $1.
Yeah. I mean, this is like after we talked about their online service. So, I mean, I'm hoping that they improve it eventually.
You know how they have Game Dev Tycoon? I want an EA Tycoon game. And you know, like, it'd have that cute little pixel art aesthetic, and you're sitting in your office, and you see the money, and then it says, check on your game dev, and he opens the room, and he starts cracking a whip. And it's a minigame. If you crack the whip, you get extra DLC bonuses. Take out this gun. Add Darth Vader. Take out this story, and they're crying. And then you walk back out there, and you go into the Xbox Tower and say, we won't be putting out extra DLC. There's no loot boxes. Do you think Reggie Fils-Aime scares people when he's on stage?
Like if they're like next to him, I imagine I would be terrified.
I'm just picturing like, you know, I like to picture all the guys speaking just sit around like a card table or something, like, or they're sitting benches, and there's this one bench that is gigantic, and they have to. You know Resident Evil 4, that giant that they had the guys holding him with the rope? That's how they load him onto the stage.
Well, I imagine like if when he's on stage, like somebody asks like, "Hey Reggie, when's Mother 3 come out?" And he's like, "Hey, why don't you come up on stage and ask me that to my face?" And then immediately everybody backs off.
No, I'm just picturing like, you know how they do the thing with All Might where they never show his eyes, like Mother 3, and he turns and he has the All Might expression. God, I really want to see like a fusion of All Might and Reggie now.
I think that I've actually gotten some of my facial expressions from Reggie.
Oh, Reggie's infected you.
Yeah.
No, if we ever have to do like a Reggie movie, you could just like photo darken me and use your face photoshopped over mine.
Who would you say is more powerful, Reggie or Todd?
No, there's not one more powerful. For Reggie is the lightning bolt, and he is the thunder.
I think we've talked about Smash Brothers like for the last like 5 podcasts.
I know. It'd be my first Smash Bros. Game since Melee.
I think it would be my first one since Brawl. I actually just got Smash 4 on the 3DS.
Is it good?
I haven't played it yet, but I've heard it's not that great.
There's a game I'm going to be buying when I get a chance. It's called Octopath Traveler.
I've heard mixed things about it. Like I've heard that if you like the classic RPGs, like from like the classic Final Fantasy games for the NES and stuff, then you'll like Octopath Traveler.
So yeah, that's exactly why I like it, because I'm a nostalgia whore for JRPGs from that era. Plus, I kind of like the visuals. Good pixel art is really hard to beat.
Yeah.
Also, Do you know what else would be kind of interesting? For Smash Ultimate, is like if you could create a character like you're me, you could like take character abilities. I don't know. Also, there's a new Soul Calibur coming out, and I honestly am saying this: I won't buy it unless you can create a fighter. Because think of what you can do with this new engine.
I think I saw that you can like. Actually, I think you can, because I saw like some clips of like a female character, and you have the boob slider. You can go all the way up.
I want that to be an attack. Just like giant boob punch.
Yeah.
Oh god. Because have you ever played those games online? That's like Soul Calibur 5 online.
I think I played the original like remastered Soul Calibur online once.
Well, the ones that create a fighters, because it may as well be. You can have Shrek versus Dante and 15 chicks with large tits. I apologize, but like, apparently one of my friends told me a true story. He rage quit because he was playing Mitsurugi. You know, are you all of a samurai? He lowered the sword and it cuts to the opponent, which was Shrek. He refused to fight Shrek. He rage quit because he was not fighting Shrek.
It's all Logan now.
You know what I think Nintendo could do to get money if they did like a meme DLC? Like you put in Shrek, you put in Luigi, Goku. Fucking, do you know who you do to round it all off? You like are you throwing like
Rick Astley? I don't know.
No, like, oh god, you know who you throw in? You throw in Tifa from Final Fantasy or something like that. Her special move being stabbed. I'm really sad that Spider-Man doesn't.
No, you're thinking of Aerith.
Aerith. Yeah, because I remember the joke was a big titty Tifa instead of Aerith. God, that must have freaked kids out when Aerith died. Like, has the video game death ever really affected you?
I want to say Metal Gear Solid 2 when Emma dies.
That was a great one, but
that one made me angry more than it made me sad.
Mass Effect 3 got me sad when Morton Solus dies, because he was my main party member. Him and Grunt. We were like, I like to imagine my Shepherd and like they had like drinking contests or like they did like alien nerd stuff, and then I watched like when you do the thing, and I used him to fight the Bad Reaper thing at the end of 2, and I'm in the tower, and I knew, and this is how the game actually got me, that if I don't take him, the Krogan will go extinct. But Krogan go extinct, that makes her happy, but they're my favorite race. So I saluted him, and when he sang the song, it got me good. And Mass Effect Andromeda can't do a single thing like that.
It's making me bring back all these memories for me. I want to say that the end of Jak 3, there was a death, like one of the characters dies at the end of Jak 3, and that kind of got me. Also, the end of Halo 3, that always gets me. It's not really death, but it's
like Cortana.
She doesn't die at the end of 3.
Oh, who does?
Private Johnson.
Oh yeah, man. It's been a while since I played Halo 3.
Sergeant Johnson. I can't mess that one up. He's basically the guy from Predator.
Yeah, he was basically Nick Fury in that. Very Nick Fury.
Yeah. And I was just thinking about this last night. Was one of my favorite video games for the GameCube was Beyond Good and Evil. I was thinking about that because Beyond Good and Evil 2 is in development.
You think it's gonna be good?
I hope it is, but there's a lot of signs pointing to the fact that it might not be good.
Yeah, it's more like
it was going to be a sequel, and then they said no, it's going to be a prequel, and then they have like this whole this like Space Monkey program that they have.
Yeah, the really really scammy fucking.
Yeah, they're asking for people to do it for free, and like they're asking for like free concept art or whatever. It just feels a little bit I don't know. Like it does have like a lot of.
What I would do if you give us free concept art, we'll give you. You can put us in your resume, something like that.
Yeah, it's like because it does have some of the main guy, like most of the main people who worked on the original coming back for it. Like the trailer looks pretty good. No game. I mean, I think they showed gameplay, but
you know what game I'm really excited about? But I'm afraid it's dead. It's called Wild. Have you seen it? It takes place in the Stone Age. You play as a caveman. You're also a shaman. So, like, they show in the gameplay, like, there's a bunch of cannibals. So you possess ravens, and you have the ravens attack them. Then you jump through a snake, and you sneak around there. You have, like, the thing you can summon a bear, and you can possess it. And it looked really fucking cool. And that was when they showed out Detroit Become Human. And we haven't seen shit of Wild since. I have this weird thing. I like the caveman aesthetic, that setting. Because, you know, caveman movies... It's all but cavemen were more like, oh yeah, and they walked outside and a mammoth charged him. He climbed a tree and the saber-tooth killed the mammoth. Then a giant vulture came down and killed the saber-tooth. Then a giant fish bit him, and then they walked down there. And then a giant bird grabs the salmon away, and then he dies of cholera.
It makes me think of like, in terms of like them communicating, it makes you think of like Tarzan. How, like the old movies, they treated him more like a kind of an idiot, but like he really, in the books, he was a lot smarter than that. And then in the Disney movie, he was actually portrayed accurately to the Edgar Rice Burroughs novels.
Something kind of interesting that's a theory that they have is cavemen had a weird thing. They spoke half their language and they did hand signs. There's a theory, I don't even know how they know this fucking shit apparently, but it's well understood. The cavemen didn't have a way of signifying who they talked to. They had names, but they couldn't go you, he, she. So they pointed to somebody and said what they needed to. But that creates a dilemma. How do you speak about someone if you can't mention them without pointing to them?
Probably just like, you know, use your thumb like, oh, this guy over here.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's not in there. Like, say he's miles away hunting.
That's probably around the same time it developed. I imagine that, like, as society developed, then forms of communication develop along with it.
It should be for like, he, who, the guy, him with the fucking spear, and they go, oh, him.
Yeah, Mr. Spearman. That's where last names come from.
Can you just picture the one guy who grasped this idea and he's trying to tell everyone?
Yeah, so you're joking about this, but I'm like starting to think of it seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I'm joking, but I'm also completely serious at the same time.
Yeah, so like, you know, if you like the guy who wields the axe, then he's like John Axman. I
had this idea that I almost was going to bring for a word group today. It was do you know who Homo habilis is?
No.
He is the earliest member of the family of man. He is the first Homo.
Oh.
Anyways, the thing is...
Oh, you mean like homosexual? Was that the joke that you were trying to make, Mr. Zach? Would you like to explain the joke further to the class?
God, I was thinking about teachers like that. Do you ever Mr. Boya from Spectrum?
I think so, yeah.
Romanian dude?
I think you mentioned him before, so I don't know.
Yeah, like, he would do that. He would ask you to explain a joke. Or if you were laughing, explain why you're laughing. But I'm fucking nuts, and I'll laugh at something stupid. Like, have you seen a new Mary Poppins trailer? They have her descending from the clouds.
I haven't seen the new trailer, no.
All I want to picture is a pterodactyl attacking her, and then she falls from the heavens. It's actually a prequel to Jurassic World, like a Jurassic World movie, and all the pterodactyls are loose.
But that would be the sequel to Jurassic World 2, yeah.
Oh my god.
Where they're all already loose in this.
I really hope that they do something like where they make like John Hammond's Preserve idea, and they can be free again. And then just picture we're all standing there, and Dr. Wu also like, yes, they're all in one spot, and he does the evil Japanese laugh, and he turns around, and like blue bitch slaps him. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, I was zoning out there for a minute.
Yeah, I understand, man.
Yeah, I was doing the J thing from Red Letter Media.
It works better with a camera, man.
Yeah. I've thought about bringing a camera, or like camera setup for like future episodes.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it would take some like pressure off from the editing for me, because it takes like a couple of days for me to put together like enough meme pictures and like string them together, and also like background music, and it's like I don't know, like it sort of cuts into my schedule for like doing my comic and stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to go back to my idea for a minute. I apologize for interrupting you. So Homo habilis is basically a chimpanzee that walks upright. Well, not even fully upright. They still have to slouch in my ideas. A bunch of Homo habilis leave this ancient valley they've been in. And, you know, there's like 8 or 9 of them. They go, ooh, and, you know, it's new land. But they talk extremely caveman. But the descriptors is like, he pondered about this for a moment, wondering the repercussions. And his dialogue, me no lako, ooh! Stuff like that. And like they find Homo erectus and they become friends, and the Homo erectus and them meet the Cro-Magnons who beat the shit out of them and use them to feed the giant terror bird god. And one of the things the Homo habilis, like they suck at everything except not dying. For some reason they have this instinctual like jump to the left, and they do, and the woolly rhino charges into the mammoth, or shit like that. You know what the worst movie I watched recently was? I decided to watch this fucking horror movie on TV. Basically, it's a banana factory that gets taken over by spiders, which is actually a realistic thing that would happen. The fucking issue is, though, how do you get rid of 1,000 spiders? How would you?
Like, burn it down, I guess.
No, so what they did was, they got a giant, like, somehow they got, like, 800,000 wasps. And they blocked off the windows and put the wasps in there. Now what? You have wasps everywhere. So what I would like to imagine is, because that's how it ends with the wasps, they never have the repercussions. I like to picture like a guy walking with a bunch of toads and have a toad stick over, and they come with cats, and they have to keep going for the animals, and they cycle back to spiders.
Yeah, I think there was a joke on in The Simpsons where it's like, they go through that, and it's like, and then like there's gonna be a bunch of bears everywhere, and then it's like we'll bring in a bunch of gorillas, but then there'll be a bunch of gorillas everywhere. But it's like, well, don't worry, because in the winter the gorillas will all freeze to death. Problem solved.
Oh man, I've been looking up prehistoric human shit, and my favorite thing is there's this animal called Australopithecine, and remember from South Park, the episode where they have Jimmy take up steroids to that one kid?
Yeah.
What's that kid's name?
Jimmy?
The kid who gave him the steroids, the Downs kid.
Oh, I don't remember his.
But he has the same facial structure. It looks like a chimpanzee with Down syndrome, and I'm literally like, Zach, don't laugh. Don't laugh.
Before we wrap this up, I wanted to, that makes me think of the new Predator movie.
Oh.
That, I've heard, really bad things about it. And
Didn't they, make a new Predator?
Yeah, the one that just came out.
No. Like, in the Moore movie, did they, clone a Predator?
I don't know, but, all I've heard about the movie is that it's bad, and that a plot point is that there's a kid character who has autism, and he learns how to use the Predator's mechanisms and weapons because he has autism. And one of the scientist characters finds out about this and says,
"Is the Predator autistic?"
Or no, she says, let me comment saying, there are some scientists who believe that autism is the next step in evolution for humanity.
Okay, fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them awful. And I'm sorry, I just have this mental image of it's a Predator movie, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's up against the wall, Predator drops down, takes off the mask. "You're one ugly mother. Chocolate milk!"
Well, no, the Predators aren't autistic.
I know, I'm gonna picture autistic Predators now. It's a short spaceship.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not badass.
By the way, the other day, I had both phones out, and I hit, I called myself on the phones, and I found out if I go, it's not like the Predator with the reverb, so I've been walking around the house with both phones, making Predator noises at the dogs. Yeah, so recently, due to medical things, I have to be alone home with the dogs, and I've been low-key finding ways to terrorize them. Because they're little shitheads. The one dog, he shit on a deck, and the other dog stepped in it, and he got mad, because long-haired dogs don't like shit, apparently, and they were fighting each other. And I ain't seen dogs fight like that. The other thing is we had a bunch of birds crap on the deck, and I had to wash it off because the dog wouldn't sit there. He'd look at the bird crap, and he'd look at me, and he'd look back, and he'd look at me until I understood.
And I think the last episode, or the one that I edited, it ended exactly like this, with you talking about something that happened back in your house. So I guess on that note, I will be wrapping this up now. I've been Tony.
I've been Zach.
And this has been the Monkey Bar.
Chocolate milk! I'm going to hell, I'm sorry.